Hi, this is The Greatest Story Ever Played. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
And today we're going to be talking about Detroit Become Human.
Yep, finally finished it.
Yeah, we did it.
So jumping in, Detroit Become Human is the latest title in development by Quantic Dream that expands on the studio's legacy of gripping, narrative-driven experiences. Discover what it really means to be a human in a powerful, emotional journey made of choice and consequences. Set in Detroit City during the year 2036, the city has been revitalized by the invention and introduction of androids into everyday life. But when androids start behaving as if they were alive, events begin to spin out of control. Step into the roles of the story's pivotal 3 playable characters, each with unique perspectives as they face their new way of life. In this ambitiously bending and thrilling narrative, every choice and action will not only determine the character's fate, but that of the entire city and possibly beyond.
Okay, so a little background on the game production. As mentioned in the description, it's developed by Quantic Dream, who's known for Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls as their kind of big games. And then the cast for this game is you've got Valerie Curie as Kara, and she was on 29 episodes of The Following. Did you watch that show?
Yeah, pretty good. First season was really good.
She she has a kid in that.
Yeah, also. I remember her very clearly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then she was also in the new Blair Witch movie.
I've seen that too. I don't remember her in it though.
Okay. And then Brian Descartes is Connor. He was in a movie called The Remaining. Detroit Become Human, I think, is his kind of biggest thing to date. And also he is a streamer with his wife, who he met on this game. And she's like one of the other androids.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But he's a streamer who's pretty popular. And then we've got Jesse Williams as Markus. He was in 235 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, so he's a long-term cast member there. And then he was also in The Cabin in the Woods.
I've seen that. He did look familiar.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember. I know his character now. I'm thinking about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then Clancy Brown is Hank Anderson. He was in Shawshank Redemption and Starship Troopers. He's the asshole head guard. Oh shit, that's crazy. Yeah. And Starship Troopers, I've seen that a couple times. Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's crazy. I didn't put those two together.
Yeah, there's actually, as a side point, there's this podcast called I Was There Too, and they interview like basically side people on movies. And there's one with Clancy Brown where he talks about being on Shawshank. And it was pretty cool because he's a pretty minor character in the movie, but he just talks about working on it. And it was pretty good.
That's awesome.
But yeah, then we've got Lance Henriksen as Carl Manafort. He was in Aliens and he was in The Terminator.
Nah, I don't remember him.
I don't remember him in either of those, but he's old in this, so I assume he was a lot younger in the 80s.
Yeah, probably 30 some years younger.
Right.
Yeah.
And then last is Minka Kelly as North, and she was in Friday Night Lights for 52 episodes.
She did look really familiar.
Lila Garrity.
Yeah, freaking Lila Garrity.
Yeah, I know. When I looked it up, I was like,
oh shit. Yeah, that's right.
So with that also, as you can see by us recognizing these people, all of the actors did the voices, but also the motion capture and all of that was based on them and their faces.
Mm-hmm. They look like them.
They look like the same.
Yeah, very well done.
I saw a picture of Jesse Williams afterwards. He looked exactly like Markus.
Really?
Yeah. And so does Valerie Curie. They look the same. And Clancy Brown looks pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like Hank now.
That's good.
Yeah, so it's like super on point. But I thought that was pretty cool. And cool that they got some actors to do video games. And it really paid off.
Yeah, that's pretty good. It seems like a more popular thing nowadays to have like a famous voice actor or like a character kind of based on a real life person.
No, that's true, because I guess with like Norman Reedus for Death Stranding coming up, or Hayden Panettiere was in Until Dawn.
Yeah, there's a bunch of other ones too. I just can't remember them for the life of me right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some that hit us later, but
yeah, shit.
That does seem in, is to have an actor play a character. Simon from The Walking Dead in GTA 5.
Oh yeah.
That's a good one.
Is he actually based on him? Because if he's not, it's really crazy.
Because it looks the same and has the same voice.
Yeah,
because he's Trevor.
Yeah, right? Trevor, and he kind of acts like him in The Walking Dead. I mean, he's way crazier than GTA 5. But,
yeah, right.
And way weirder. But, yeah,
that's awesome.
So yeah, you have 3 main playable characters. You have Connor. He's a police investigator android tasked with hunting down androids that have become deviant, so like going away from their actual programming, whatever. And then Kara, she's a housekeeper android, and then Markus, who is taking care of what's his name?
Carl.
Carl, yeah, Lance Henriksen's character. He's like a caretaker, housekeeper android.
Yep. So before we actually get into the recap of the game, we asked people what their favorite playable character was. So for me, it was Connor.
Yeah, same Connor here.
Yeah, I think just when we were playing, we just really bought into Connor. We were like,
yeah,
we really liked him, and he to me, I felt like he was like the ultimate picture of like a nice but dork droid who's doing his job, but like trying to befriend Hank, who doesn't like him, and like I don't know, I really like that.
Yeah, it was tough because Kara and Markus are both really cool, and like they're all very different, which is I like how they did that. But they I don't know, it's tough because they each had like something really important. Like Markus was leading this revolution, which is really cool.
Right.
Kara was taking care of this girl, which is like it's cool. But Connor was like, and honestly, kind of the worst of the three jobs, like hunting down deviants.
Right.
So his felt the most conflicting because like you're hunting down people that we're playing as. So it's like, what the fuck? So it's just his was the craziest. He was the craziest character in my opinion.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Games and Groceries wrote in and they said Connor was their favorite character.
Games Till 5 podcast on Twitter says Kara.
And also, Games Till 5, they do basically just top fives for their podcasting countdown going back and forth. So I listened to an episode recently where they did their like top 5 N64 games.
Oh, nice. What was number 1? If you remember. Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, good question. I think it was Zelda.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
That was both of theirs.
That makes sense.
So they go back and forth, and but both of them, their number 1 was Zelda.
That's pretty good game.
Yeah, so that seemed pretty beloved.
Famous.
And I listened to their 2018 top favorite games that year, and one of them had Before the Storm, and I think Uncharted Lost Legacy, and another game I played and like. So I was like one of them, I was like, okay, you like all the games I like.
Yeah, we agree with you.
Yeah, we're spot on. The other one had a game that sounded cool that I can't remember at the time, but yeah, it was good stuff. Nerd Mom on Twitter, though, wrote in and said Connor by far was their favorite.
Chris on Twitter says Markus.
Mason agrees with Chris. Markus for sure.
Jumax on Twitter says Connor.
Shrey on Twitter says Markus.
Princess Buttercup on Twitter says Markus was wicked cool and dramatic, but I felt so much more emotionally invested in Kara and her part of the story. That's fair. It seems like each person can have like, man, I really connect with this character or this story going forward, which is pretty cool.
I agree. Wiles on Twitter said Kara.
Yeah, we got a lot of these.
Yeah, a lot of people were.
Yeah. Solar Punk on Twitter says Kara got really invested in her desire to be a mother and her struggle to protect her adoptive child. Good reasons.
I thought that was especially good. Just seeing Kara's focused shift when she's on there. That was great. Sato on Twitter said, I'm torn between Kara and Connor, to be honest.
Callum agrees. He said, between Kara and Connor for me.
M4 on Twitter says, Connor, of course.
Nikki on Twitter says, oh, it's a hard question. Fans go so crazy about Connor. It's honestly a little annoying. So it's a little tainted. So I'm going to go Kara for my sweet baby. Or my sweet baby. With some emojis in there.
Anders on Twitter said, playing through right now, for me it's either Kara or Markus. Margil, I think.
On Twitter says, Kara, her scenes were the best and most touching ones. Connor's character was interesting too. Markus was okay.
Craig on Twitter said, I love them all, but I guess I have to say Kara because I was really invested in her relationship with Alice.
Josh on Twitter says, Kara all day. The other characters were great too, but she had the most moving story of all.
Yeah.
Lots of response there.
A lot of responses, and cool that it like it's not quite 1/3, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, but if you asked more people, it'd probably get pretty close to 1/3.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. Like to do a game like this, I feel like you could risk having like the character no one really cares about, and then the character that's the favorite, and then like the other one that's.
I feel like that usually happens in most games with 3 or 4 or 5 playable main characters.
Yeah, and so to have so many people have their favorite be different ones, they really landed it right. So good job.
Yeah, well done. Classic, good story-driven game here.
Yeah, no, for sure. So heading into our recap now, what we decided to do was divide the characters up and just do their stories all at once. As you play the game, you do jump around. So like one chapter is Connor, then the next one's Markus, and the next one's Kara, and then you go back to Markus, and then you go to Connor, and so on. But that would be way too confusing to hear.
Yeah, for sure. You'd not be able to track with this.
Yeah, I think tracking with it would be a lot worse. So instead, we decided to divide them up and just do each character's story in its own right, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, then like when they intersect towards the end, that becomes the story.
Yeah, then we'll pick up with all of them together later.
Yeah.
So with that, we will start with Connor. So Connor begins with his first case with a deviant android who's got a little girl that's held hostage. And this might be where the game begins, actually.
I think it is, yeah.
And so you're Connor, and you're on top of a rooftop on like a skyscraper. This android's got a little girl leaning like off the ledge
with a gun to her head, I think.
With a gun to her head, and you're walking towards them, and you're trying to like calm the android down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we failed this, right?
Well, yes and no. So I think we saved the girl, but then we tackled him off the roof.
Okay.
And we died.
So we died.
Which I remember playing this. I was like, man, is Connor's story just over now? Do we just literally ruin the whole third of the game for us?
Right. So we killed Connor, saved the girl. So we
Yeah, probably did the most important thing, which is saving the girl.
Right. So Connor reboot.
Yep.
I couldn't quite remember. I was like, did we have a Connor reboot from the start? And we did.
Yeah, it was a while ago when we played this part.
Right, when we started.
Yeah, took a while.
Yeah. So after this, Connor gets sent to the Detroit police to aid in the investigation of deviant androids that are going around. It's starting to be a thing.
Yeah, and real quick, Connor's like a prototype CyberLife, like an android developed by this company CyberLife, which is like the big android creator. But he's like made specifically for this like case, police investigation, stuff like that. So he's like a special agent almost sent by CyberLife to figure these androids out.
Right. His specific creation goal is to figure out what makes androids go deviant and how to catch them and that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And is there a way to stop them from doing this stuff? I don't know.
Right. It's like the Hans Landa androids.
Yep, basically.
Is like his deal. And so he gets assigned to Detective Lieutenant Hank Anderson, who is this old, crotchety, old school detective.
Probably an alcoholic.
Probably an alcoholic, grumpy, and hates androids, seemingly. And so when you try to kind of initiate with him and meet him, he's like, I don't need a robot to do my job, I can do it. That's kind of the attitude.
Yeah. Starts out that way for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of the attitude you get with him, and he's resistant to having you there, but he kind of has to. His bosses kind of just makes him. And so Connor and Hank go and investigate the possible homicide of a man who was apparently killed by his own android, and we go through, we do the investigation. This gives you kind of the first look at how Connor does his investigation. So you like look at various clues around the room, and then you essentially get to play it as a video, and then he'll say what happens if you get all the clues. So we did that, and we ultimately discovered that the android is still there based on that.
It's like in the attic, maybe?
Yeah, he's in the attic, and we find him and we turn him in.
Yeah, you have the option not to.
Yeah, so you could end up failing it by not finding him at all, like if you didn't do the clues right, or you can see him and not turn him in. But we turned him in.
Yeah, we generally followed what we should do as Connor.
Right, yeah, followed protocol. But we tried to follow protocol, as that's what Connor's designed to do, so we tried to play him the way he's designed. So after this, we end up interrogating the droid, and he explodes himself, the android. We upset him too much, and he like self-destructs.
So. Yeah, or he got like real messed up, and you can only turn him on for so long.
Yeah,
one of those two. Either way, he was like.
We didn't really get
afterwards.
Information out of him.
Yeah, we got maybe a tiny bit.
Right. After this, Captain Fowler, who's Hank's boss, orders him to investigate deviant cases and makes him cooperate with Connor, who were now his partner. So it's not just this one isolated instance, but sorry, you get to keep Connor.
Yeah, and Hank is not about it.
Hank's not about it. I think this is the point where we can look at his desk and like try to figure out things he likes to try to befriend him, and
you can snoop around
and it like mildly works.
Like
Hank hates us less, and we didn't do the things that would make him angry on purpose.
Yeah,
like we tried to relate to him on things he'd want to.
Yeah, so there's like this system in the game where like kind of where you stand with the people you're interacting with. So like it'll be like enemy, trusted, not trusted, friend, partner, lover, things like that, where what you do kind of determines the person's view of your relationship.
Right.
So I think one of our main goals here with Hank going forward was like, let's make Hank like us.
Right.
Because we liked him. He was a cool dude.
Right. Yeah, our goal was be friends with him, get him to like want to trust us and use us as his partner for real, and then to catch androids. That was kind of our goal.
Yep.
So from there, Connor is going. They find out about another android who killed their owner and was gone, kind of on the run. So we're tailing that android, and we end up checking out this abandoned house, looking for that deviant. We don't find them, but we do find another android who lives there.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah,
I forget what we did to him. We might have let him live and just left because it was like not pertaining to the case, so we moved on.
Yeah.
Oh no. We saw the deviant running away. That's what it was. We got there, we met the other android, but then we saw the deviant running away who ran across the highway, and we chased after.
Oh, yeah.
We chased after the deviant, but ultimately they made it across the highway. We got stuck. We couldn't keep chasing because we would have got hit by cars going across the highway. So the deviant got away, and we were left behind.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That was a terrifying sequence.
That was horrible. After this, we investigate another apartment that had a deviant in it. So there was reports of there's a deviant here. We look for him, and we go and look for them, and we find them, and we get in this crazy chase that goes like it felt like Daniel Craig Bond movie.
Yeah, a lot like that.
Where you're like running and then you're like jumping through like a window and then like
parkour.
Parkour outlet. Yeah, every parkour's dream.
Parkour.
Yeah. That's what this chase is very much. So there's a point where we're running after the android, but Hank's on our side and he falls and he's getting ready to fall off the ledge of the building, and we can choose to either save Hank, but let the android get away, or get the android but lose Hank.
Yeah, or maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if. Yeah, I wonder what would have happened if he actually would have fallen.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't fall.
Pissed at you.
Yeah, probably.
Which we didn't want to do because we had to get our boy Hank.
Right, we saved Hank. Because I think, too, I don't know that we decided this, but just that human life being more valuable than android life, I guess especially in Connor's view.
Yeah. Like,
he's trained to catch androids, but, like, you would think he has sort of a protection clause for people.
Yeah, I think at this point, too, we started to go a little bit deviant as Connor. Because our mission was to catch deviant androids, and we chose not to.
Yeah.
To save a Hank.
Right.
So I think maybe at this point,
we've gone a
Connor was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think doing that, we ended up going a little deviant. After this happens, we go to Hank's house, and he's passed out drunk.
Yeah, like with I think a gun. It looked like he might have tried to kill himself, or was going to try to kill himself.
I was thinking about it at least.
Yeah, and then passed out drunk.
And so we like sober him up and kind of make him mad, and like meet his dog and.
Oh yeah.
Like snoop around his house a little bit. So we do that, get to learn more passive information about Hank. After this, we go to the Eden Club, which is like an android strip club prostitute thing.
Yeah, basically you can pay to have sex with different androids.
Yeah, and so they're in these like glass tube things essentially, and then you run your credit card and they come with you for whatever time you
go to do whatever you want. It's pretty weird.
Yeah, it's strange. But we go there and we're trying to find an android who we go there because at the Eden Club there was a dude who got choked to death while he was with two android Tracy's, the strippers.
Yeah. They're called Tracy's.
Yeah, I think
that's the model.
Yeah, I think that's the model. So the Tracy's killed him. And so we're like investigating. And so what Connor figures out is the way to figure out which Tracy's were in there with him and that are deviant is he started renting different ones, and then he can like hold their hand to get their memories from them essentially. And so you end up in this kind of a weird chase of going to different androids at different corners of rooms and stuff to try to figure out, okay, where'd they go, when were they there, blah blah blah. ultimately, we did this well enough that we find the android we're looking for in like the back room with a bunch of androids, and we get in a fight with them. It turns out there's two instead of one. They're both there. We get in a fight with them, and it's like a pretty decent match. Like
I was surprised.
They're kind of fucking us up. They're kind of fucking Hank up. Like
I was pretty shocked by that.
Yeah.
Especially as Connor, you'd think he'd be like designed specifically to like fuck people up,
right?
Which he probably is in some way, but I was surprised androids like kind of got him a little bit.
Yeah. So we get in this fight that's pretty intense. They ultimately are running away, and we shoot one of them.
Yeah, that was an option to let them go or
let them escape over like the fences or like kill them or shoot one. And so we shot one in the chest, and it like kills them. And the other one comes down and like freaks out and is yelling at us.
Yeah, it turns out they were in love.
They were in love, and she is saying like, I can't live anymore, you took all that matters to me, and she takes our gun and kills herself in front of us, and it's like, holy fuck. And Hank's kind of even like, why didn't you just let him go?
He was not happy.
He wasn't happy that we shot him, and we're like, I thought we were doing our job. Which that was a pretty interesting conflict, to see Hank mad that we killed them, since he's been so anti-android before. But then for us to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have killed him, like that. Maybe that was wrong. Like maybe other things are more important, the investigation or whatever. So there's an interesting conflict there. After this, we're hanging out at a park bench with Hank, and he's getting drunk, as he does.
Yep, as Hank does.
And he pulls a gun on us and asks us if we're afraid to die. And we answered the question right.
Will he actually shoot you there?
Yeah.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, he'll kill you.
Oh my, that's crazy.
Yeah, he'll kill you, and then so this is something that's kind of crazy. Is for Connor, I think if you die, you just get a replacement Connor. And I didn't notice them when we played, but whatever number you have on you, it goes up by one.
Oh, really?
As the replacements get sent.
Oh, that's crazy.
On your shirt. But yeah, you can. Yeah, so he can kill you here, which is pretty crazy.
I wonder if you come back and you're like not friends with Hank again.
I think he probably doesn't like you.
Yeah. If he murders you.
Yeah, I don't think he likes you anymore, and you're a replacement, so I don't think he's like, you're not Connor anymore, or like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though you have his memories of like him shooting you and stuff.
Yeah, you're probably not too happy, but you're also an android, so whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so at this point too in the game, we've like really, I think at this point we were friends with Hank. Like we had done a lot of things right to make Hank like us. Yeah. This was a pretty crazy thing that he did.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty wild seeing that happen. After this, we end up going to the broadcast station where there were androids that had previously hijacked it earlier. So previously we hear about androids who went there and took the camera and like talked about how androids should be free, essentially. Yeah,
which we'll talk more about later. But
so we go there, we hear about that. While we're there, we find out that we're not in charge of android investigations in Detroit anymore. There's this FBI agent named Perkins who's in charge now, and he's an asshole to us and Hank.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's like, whoa, we don't need local PD, and androids suck, and that kind of stuff. He sucks. So after this, Hank and Connor are like, okay, well, we'll go do our own investigation because, fuck these FBI guys, essentially. And so we go meet Elijah Kampsk, who was the founder of CyberLife, who made CyberLife, but then recently retired or quit or whatever. I was like, all right, I'm done with this. But because he's the founder, we're hoping he has maybe secrets as to how to understand the androids more and what makes them go deviant and all that. So we go there, and Kampsky decides to use this time to test Connor. And so what he's called is the Kampsky test. And what he does is he pulls out a gun and gives it to Connor, and then he has one of his housekeeping androids named Chloe. He tells Chloe to get on her knees and tells Connor to shoot her. And so this is our next kind of major Connor decision. And Hank's telling us not to. Kampsky's telling us to. And he's like, if you kill her, then I'll give you all the information you need and you'll be able to solve your investigation. But if you don't, then I won't help you. And we ultimately choose not to kill her.
Mainly because we didn't want to well, one, just shoot someone, like, because, like, fuck that guy. He's like, I'm not going to kill someone for you. And then, two, because Hank was like, don't do it.
Yeah, Hank saying not to, and, it just didn't seem that...
Yeah, I'm not going to be manipulated into killing someone, even as an android. Like, nope, not doing it.
Right, and I think that ultimately this does what he wants it to, because it makes us go way more deviant by not putting the investigation above everything else.
Yep.
So it's an interesting idea for him for sure. But
this was an interesting thing because Connor starts to like, he's like, oh, am I deviant? Like,
right,
man, I don't know.
Yeah, at this point Connor's questioning himself after events like saving Hank instead of going after that one android and this, and so Connor is even unsure of like, am I doing deviant things? Is this wrong?
And then Hank's kind of like, this is cool. Like, you're not just a mindless robot.
Yeah, this is making Hank like us more. He's like, you're not doing what you should, but
that.
I like it.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of like, all right,
yeah,
I do kind of like
Keep
that.
Keep rolling with this.
Right. Then, after this, Fowler, he tells us that we're off the case. The FBI is taking over the investigation. And so, as that's going on, Hank ends up running some interference for us. So he goes and, like, talks shit to the FBI guy.
And he punches him.
While he's like, I'm going to leave my key card on the desk. You have 5 minutes or whatever. And so we end up going in, and while we're there, we end up talking to the Tracys. And you have to, like, take parts of one into the other one to, like, make it work.
Yeah.
And we talk to them, and they tell us how to find Jericho. Because if we can get to the source of where all the deviant androids are, maybe we can solve this case. So we find out that information. Then this asshole cop who we dealt with earlier shows up, and we knock him out.
Yeah, fuck him up, dude.
Yeah,
that guy sucks.
Yeah, that
guy sucked, I guess.
Yeah, he's a douche.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then, cool, we're ready to head to Jericho from there. So we'll stop with Connor's story at this point, and we'll pick up with Kara. So Kara... I said Kara. Kara is her name, but we probably both said it wrong a little bit.
Yeah,
Kara. So Kara, story begins, and she's been rebooted in the Android store, and
it's kind of like Apple.
Yeah, it's a lot like an Apple store, except there's androids there.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, and her owner, a guy named Todd Williams, picks her up, and it's weird. It feels skeevy, kind of from the beginning.
Like, yeah, I remember thinking like we were talking like, is this dude like banging androids? Like, this seems weird. Yeah,
it seems weird. And we're like, what's with this guy? And like, there was even some weird questions like, oh, thanks for getting we got the repair done, it was fine. Or like, you said she was in a car accident. So it's like, this isn't feeling right. Like,
yeah, this guy's shady.
Yeah, right. Does this guy like beat and fuck androids or something? Like, it felt bad.
Yeah.
We were not sure what we were getting into.
Yeah.
So we get back to his house. Todd instructs us to do the housework around the house and take care of his daughter, whose name is Alice. And while we're kind of roaming around the house, we pick up things, and he's just like drunk and using drugs.
Yeah, for sure. And he just is an ass.
And he's an asshole.
Total asshole.
So he's like just being like crazy and drunk, like on his chair. His daughter's like afraid of him, like hiding under the table or going upstairs.
Won't even talk.
Doesn't talk. And then we're like kind of just trying to scope it out, basically. So we're like, okay, we'll do the chores that we should, and we're trying to like figure out what's going on. We end up going to Alice's room, and she shows us this drawing that she made, and it's of her dad like destroying us.
Yeah.
And we find out because he had said we were in a car accident, but she shows him like beating us, and that's why we broke. Kind of thing. And
yeah, because he probably got drunk and pissed.
Yeah, I got drunk and did it. And so, that's pretty concerning. Then at dinner, we have dinner with Alice and Todd, and Todd starts being like abusive towards Alice.
Yeah, like out of nowhere.
He just like snaps and is like, he's like, this is why your mom left, or like stuff like that. And so he's like he like slaps her and is being like verbally abusive. Yeah, and stuff. And so at this point, we're like, all right, fuck this.
Yeah, we're ending this guy's life.
Yeah, so we go deviant, and we try to like protect Alice, and we end up killing him in the process to prevent Alice from being harmed and ourselves.
Yep, good riddance.
Kill this piece of crap and go. This is crazy. So if you fail this, Kara's story ends here. You can get killed by Todd here, and it's just over.
Which is so crazy, because this is like
Right, the first chapter.
So a third of the game you don't even get to experience.
Yeah, if you failed the quick times here.
It'd be so crazy.
Yeah, that would have been wild to just mess this up.
Immediately.
I guess. Yeah, that'd be pretty wild. Just lose a third of the story right there. So, so at this point we're on the run. So we get on a bus and we just like get out of there, basically, because we're like we can't be here. We gotta go.
Yep.
Basically, so we take a bus like to the end of the line, then we have to get off, and we look for a place to spend the night. We end up choosing to spend the night in an abandoned building. Your other options are like there's like an abandoned car somewhere, which seemed pretty shady, or you could try to go to a hotel, and maybe you'd have to like steal money to go in, kind of thing. And so we're like, let's stay low profile, but like sort of safe.
Yeah.
Inside the abandoned building, we meet an android who's like kind of loopy.
He's like a deviant, but clearly kind of messed up in the head. Like he's been hit or burned or something.
Right, because he's even missing like part of his parts.
Yeah,
like
part of his face, I think.
Yeah, so he's like kind of fucked up looking. He's a little crazy, but like is reasonably friendly. So we just try to play it cool with him, and we're like, okay, like if we do this, I think we'll be safe for a day. And we are. Then in the morning, Connor shows up at the abandoned building.
Connor and Hank.
So we run away from him and we run across the freeway to get away. This is again frightening on this end, as it was with Connor before.
Yep. Well, this time we actually had to cross.
Right. We had to, because I'm assuming our game could have ended here too if we didn't make it.
Yeah. I mean, it was. I'm surprised we made it actually.
Yeah.
It was pretty difficult.
Yeah, and even early in the game, like we weren't as good at quick times, kind of thing. So we make it across though, and Connor doesn't get us, so that was good. After this, we go to the home of a guy named Zlatko, who supposedly helps androids. And so we're like, okay, cool. We've kind of made it to our next thing. Who can help us out? And we get there, and he tricks us and essentially tries to keep us as slaves.
Yeah.
This guy's even more of an asshole than Todd.
Yeah. He's like Todd, but like.
If you were like more smart and evil.
Yeah. With like a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he keeps us as slaves. His goal is to keep us as slaves. We also find out he does like experiments on androids. So when he captures us, he has Alice taken like upstairs somewhere, and then we're in the basement, and he's got us on some android program software thing that will essentially erase our memory. Yeah. And we've got like he leaves to let it go, and we have like a certain amount of countdown to be able to like rip the stuff out to not have our memory wiped.
Which we failed, I think.
I think we failed half of it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we definitely didn't lose all of our memory, but we lost like
some of it.
There was someone who was like, "Who's Alice?"
Yeah, we were confused for a minute.
Yeah, but then we snapped out of it.
Yeah, we were able to get it back.
From our memory reserves or whatever.
Yeah, but we were kind of fucked up in the beginning.
For sure.
But we break out of that, and then we see all these androids he does experiments on, and it's like
Toy Story?
I was gonna say if Sid from Toy Story grew up.
Yeah.
It's like that. So it's like legs put on arms and like a bunch of naked androids. Like it's a weird scene that he's got going, and so after this, we end up breaking out and we go upstairs to try to find Alice. So we're like. You definitely get the horror movie feel of
this was terrifying.
Yeah, snooping around upstairs, you're trying to find Kara. So you've got Zlatko, who's I don't know, kind of a middle-aged overweight dude. Yeah. But then he's got an android who's just like bodyguard named Luther, who's big as fuck.
Yeah, like
he's probably like 6'5", 280.
Maybe 6'8".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's huge. Like LeBron James, like. With maybe 20 pounds more.
Yeah, like pro football player big. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Huge.
He's fucking huge. And so he's, him and Zlatko are trying to get us while we're like trying to find Alice and escape. It gets pretty crazy in this. There's a part where we find a polar bear, right? That we let out on Zlatko.
Yeah, he's got a polar bear android. Yep.
That we like let out on him, and that gives us our chance to like escape. And we make it out the back door. Well, he has to deal with the polar bear for a minute.
Yeah.
And as we get out the back door, though, he ends up showing up behind us with a gun, and he pulls it on us and has us he's gonna kill us.
Yeah, and I think we like try to save Alice.
Yeah, and with these interactions, Luther goes deviant, and so then Luther shoots him.
Yeah, I think he takes a gun and kills him for sure.
I think he either shoots and kills. This is where I was a little unsure. He either shoots and kills him, or he shoots him, and then the androids with experiments like drag him in the house.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he doesn't kill him, but he leaves him there for the other androids.
And then the androids like drag him into the house.
I'm sure they kill him.
And they're probably killing him, and we're like, all right.
Yeah, or it's something worse. I don't know.
And Luther joins our team.
Yep.
So Luther's like, all right, I'm going to get you and Alice to Canada, because Canada is a place where androids are considered humans, or have rights.
Like in most movies or TV shows, Canada's safe.
Yeah,
America is not.
Yeah, Canada is safe. That is where to go. So Luther says, "I will work. I'm with you now. I will protect you and take you and Alice there." Mm-hmm. So that's cool. Our team gets bigger, which is great. Luther comes with us, and we steal Zlatko's car. We drive the car for quite a while, but it ends up breaking down by this abandoned amusement park. And so we go there to try to find a place for shelter for the day. While we're inside, it's like a little creepy at first, and then we find a place to sleep, but then a whole bunch of androids roll up. And we're
Jerry's, I think.
We end up finding they're all called Jerry's.
Yeah, there's amusement park workers. They all look the same, act the same.
Yeah. They're all like goofy.
Yeah.
But they all roll up, and we're like afraid, kind of. And we had a gun from Luther having it, and we thought about hurting them, but we decided to not, and it was good because they turned out to be good, which was nice. They were friendly to us. They also turned the carousel on so Alice could be on it, and we saw Alice smile.
Yeah, she was into it.
Which was nice because she's mostly been sad and quiet.
Yep, which makes sense.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Considering everything that's gone on. But this was a nice moment. So that was cool. They tell us about Rose, who is a person who helps androids cross over to Canada. And they're like, she's good. So we're a little wary it could be another Zlatko situation.
Yep.
But we're pretty sure it's actually real. So that's kind of nice going in. We meet Rose. She tells us she'll help us cross the border. When we get there, she's housing other androids as well. She's got a son named Adam, though, who thinks this is too dangerous, that we shouldn't be running androids across the border. We shouldn't put ourselves at risk kind of attitude. And her attitude's like, no, we would want people to do this for us. We should do it for other people, kind of thing, basically.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. So then Rose leaves to go make arrangements for being with someone who has a boat for us to be able to cross over to Canada. So, and the other androids. So she's trying to get that set up on our behalf. While she's gone, though, a police officer shows up and knocks on the door and is like, I've heard androids are around the area. Have you seen anything? And we answer the door and have to talk with him, which is pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you're like, we can't fuck this up. And in it, there's like varying clues around that androids could be here, that you have to like take care of in the 1 minute before you have to open the door, kind of thing, before it like gets suspicious. Yeah. Essentially. So that happens when he makes his way around. This is we failed this one a couple times, and this is the only time we restarted the game. But what we did have happen, I think twice or 3 times, was the police officer came in, and what happens if you don't direct Luther and Alice to run upstairs? They end up hiding in like a closet, which he opens the closet, and then Luther and him fight, and he kills Luther, but Luther kills him. Yep. And we were like, we can't have Luther go out like that.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, we didn't like it. So we restarted. It feels sort of bad. I don't believe in restarting, generally speaking, but we did it.
Yeah, this was the one time we're like,
this is the one
no,
time
we have to do this.
Yeah, this is the one time we did, though. We didn't restart any other times, but we did here. So to be able to save Luther and Alice, to have it be fine, what we did is we had them go upstairs, and then we took care of the other things. We offered him coffee, we're nice to him, and then he ends up leaving.
Yep, safe and sound.
No issues. So that's great. After this, Rose comes home, and she tells us where Jericho is, and she says that we go there, we'll be able to meet the leader, and they'll help us get across to Canada. It'll be all good. So, cool. Okay, so then last we've got Markus. So, Markus Story begins with him going around doing errands. Then he arrives back at his home and he gets Carl out of bed. So Carl is an older guy who's in a wheelchair. So he gets him out of bed, gets him into his wheelchair. After this, Carl finishes up his painting. So Carl's an artist who has had a lot of success at it. He's clearly like a rich dude.
Oh yeah, super rich.
Who's doing well. And after Carl finishes his own painting, he has Markus paint. And at first, Markus just does something good but generic, and then Carl's like, "No, I want you to do something that you think or you feel. Paint this emotion or that sort of thing." So it's interesting because Carl probably, without knowing it, kind of wants Markus to be deviant.
Yep.
Himself. So he's encouraging him that. But then Carl's son shows up, a guy named Leo.
Sucks.
Showing up asking money for what we know will be drugs. He's like a asshole.
Yeah, he sucks.
Yeah, he sucks. Carl says, "No, though, I'm not giving you money. What happened to the money I gave you last time?" And he's like, "It wasn't enough, Dad." That kind of thing. It's like you just got high with all of it immediately.
Yeah, bitch.
Then Leo accuses Carl of only loving painting and Markus. That's all you care about, painting and Markus. And he storms off. After this, Carl and Markus return home from an art show, and they notice that there's a light on in the house. And that, maybe someone's breaking in, kind of thing. And they get there and they see that Leo's trying to steal paintings of Carl's to sell. And then Leo attacks Markus and is hurting him. And Carl's telling him to stop. And Leo won't. And we have an option to attack back or not, but we don't.
Yeah, I think we chose not to.
We chose not to because we didn't think that would be good. And while this is happening, Carl has a heart attack because of it being so intense.
Yeah.
And he ends up dying.
That sucks.
Which is insane. And the police show up, and Leo blames it on Markus. He's like, "Oh, duh, the android did it, of course."
Yeah.
Police, of course, buy it, and they kill Markus.
Yep. Shoot him right in the head.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, something. Or in the
chest,
maybe?
I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember. So, that sucks. Later on, we wake up in the junkyard, and we're fucked up. Being shot had really, really hurt us. And so then what we do is we start salvaging parts from other androids inside the junkyard.
Some are alive.
Some are alive.
You have to take their parts out and kill them.
Yeah, there's one we definitely killed to get the part we needed.
Yeah.
Which we felt pretty bad about and debated.
Yeah, it seemed like the worthwhile thing. I mean, ultimately it was the best thing to do. Because the android it had no legs or something. It was all right,
it was
basically
pretty
dead.
Damaged.
Yeah. Come on, guy. Give us your eyeball.
Yeah. So it felt pretty bad, but it's crazy. This part was pretty creepy too. Just being in this junkyard with metal and androids and other waste.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. One of the androids, though, he tells us that we need to go to Jericho. If we go to Jericho, that we'll be free. That's where androids are really free and you can be free, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, cool. And he tells us how to get there. He says that if you look at the graffiti in this one area, it will lead you there. This leads us through a series of looking at graffiti and parkouring around Detroit to find out where the androids live. And what we find out is that it's on this freight liner that's in the harbor that no one uses.
Yeah, abandoned
boat. That's pretty big. It's a huge boat. We get there and we make it to Jericho, and inside Jericho we meet the leaders of the community. Their names are Simon, Josh, and North. And once we get there, we try to kind of get a feel for who these people are and who these androids are and what they're like and what their goals are, that kind of thing. And what we find out is that there's some androids there that are hurt. So the way androids are made is they have things like blue blood for their blood. They have different batteries and different shit like that. And if they don't, so they don't just live forever necessarily. They have to be replenished.
Yeah, especially if they get shot or hurt or something.
Yeah, right, especially if it's hurt in some manner. But it doesn't seem like they can live infinitely. Yeah. Because there was talk we can't just live in this boat forever. It doesn't seem like even the ones that are fine could stay there forever. So we us and the leaders come up with a plan to break into a CyberLife warehouse to get the parts and blue blood and that we need. So we do the heist. And it works out pretty well. We didn't get caught. We save a security android.
Yeah, we figure out we can do that.
Yeah. What we figure out in this too is that Markus has like this touch, essentially, where any android he touches is free.
Like becomes deviant.
So we've got it's pretty crazy.
I think it's some kind of virus thing.
Yeah,
that like
would
spreads.
Make sense.
Yeah. So I mean, quote unquote virus, but like he's freeing them.
Yeah, he's freeing them. So it's kind of crazy, and like when you touch them, it's just like touching them on the back or on the side or on the arm or whatever. Like it's not something they see coming or know will happen. It's just like they saw you, then you touched them, and then they're not now they're deviant. So it's kind of wild. So we get the parts, and this wins us a lot of cred with the people of Jericho.
Oh yeah,
they're all like, okay, you're one of our leaders now. Like you care about our community, you risk yourself to do it, sort of thing. And the leaders themselves, Simon, Josh, and North, are impressed with us and how we like did the stealing. Because some of them were kind of like, maybe we shouldn't steal, and other ones were like, yeah, let's do it. What we end up finding is that like Simon and Josh are more similar, where they're both more passive routes, and North's kind of the blow everyone up. And,
yeah, kill all the humans.
Yeah. She's kind of the other, like Bender,
yeah,
kill all humans.
Yeah, seriously.
She's like that, almost. And then they're a bit more passive. Like they want to be peaceful or like just lay low, because like I think Simon and Josh, if they were alone, would maybe just let the herd androids eventually die and like try to make the other ones live on.
Yeah, probably.
That seems like the attitude they would have. But we did something different that was in the middle, so that really does something. After this, we are like, okay, let's break into a broadcasting station and demand freedom for androids. That's our like next move. We decide to do this. While we're breaking inside, we knock out 2 security guards to be able to get inside the broadcasting room. We get inside and get the cameras on Markus. Markus is going to give a speech about freedom, but before that happens, one of the people who work at the station tries to flee, and we could choose to let him go or kill them, and we killed them.
Yeah, probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Regretted it the rest of the game.
Yeah, that was our like big regret.
Yeah.
We killed a guy, but because what I did read, so we did get to give our speech, and that's good, or whatever, about the freedom for androids and all that stuff. I guess if you let him go, he gets to security, and like it gets a little more crazy as we escape.
Oh, really?
It gets more dangerous.
Okay.
So even that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we did the right thing.
Maybe we did. I don't think it was good to kill a guy. I feel bad about it, but it did probably help the androids out, ultimately. So we demand our freedom on TV, and we like take over all the stations.
Yeah,
so
crazy.
Everyone everywhere is seeing like. Androids are living beings too. We want to be treated as equals. We want freedom. We're no longer being slaves.
Yeah.
Essentially. So after this, we're trying to kind of increase our rebellion. So Markus and North go to Capitol Park, where there's an android store, and we start freeing androids. And so this is kind of wild. We go and like free worker androids. There's like a street sweeper and like a guy at a bus stop and like stuff like that. So we're just freeing androids everywhere because like we're basically just creating chaos by freeing androids. So we do that.
Basically, yeah.
Then we break into the android store by driving a car through it.
Yep. That was fun.
Yeah, which is fun. And then we free all the androids that are in there as like store props or whatever. So all these androids are free, and we're kind of like marching around to head back to Jericho. Or no, we aren't marching. We're just trying to head back.
Yeah, we're just leaving.
We're just escaping.
Trying to sneak.
We're trying to escape. As we're escaping, though, 2 police show up and they shoot a couple androids, but our androids capture them. And one of them hands us the gun and says, "You decide what we should do." And so we can make an example of them by killing them, or I guess make an example of the androids by not killing them. And we chose to spare them.
Yeah, I think a lot of it because we felt so bad about killing that last guy, and also the news. People like were really pissed because we killed a guy, so they hated, or they started to not like the rebellion as much. They were like,
yeah, the attitude towards androids was lower after killing the guy and like taking over the airwaves.
Yeah.
So then this happened, and we did this, and it moved the people to indifferent. Because they were like, okay, they didn't hurt people, but they like broke out.
Yeah.
So it was like not as bad. But we spare them and we leave. Yeah, after this, Markus and the rest of Jericho, we get together and we're like, okay, our next demonstration, we're going to do a freedom march.
Peaceful freedom march.
Yeah, we do a freedom march, and we're walking around, like, saying varying chants, like, we want equality, we demand freedom, justice for androids, that sort of stuff. And then there's a wall of police who are confronting us, and we're given 3 options at this point. We can choose to stand there. They're like, disperse or we'll attack you. And so we can choose to either stand our ground and let them attack us. We can choose to attack them before they attack us. Or we can choose to run away. We ultimately chose to run away because we didn't want to be dead to miss out whatever's next for the androids. Our kind of thought was the androids... this isn't over. This was our first march, but... Yeah,
we demonstrated peacefully. We're protesting, but we're not going to stand here and get shot.
And as we did this, too, we freed a lot of androids along the way again, too. So you just saw it get bigger and bigger, and it changed. We didn't even have to touch them. After a while, they just kind of got absorbed. You
could just look at it and be like, come on.
They just got absorbed into the crowd. It was like, it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Wild.
Yeah. So now we've reached the crossroads. So at this point, all of the stories begin to intersect.
Just crazy.
And this is near the end of the game. This is probably like there's maybe 2 or 3 chapters at this point left, and shit gets crazy.
Yeah, super crazy
at this point. So at the crossroads, Kara has made her way to Jericho. She meets Markus, and asks him to be able to get her to Canada, and he says, "Yeah, I got people who can do that." So that's all good. While Kara is walking back, Luther comes to us, and he tells us earlier in the game he had said, "Hey, I need to tell you something about Alice," and we shrugged him off like once or twice.
Yeah.
Which we didn't like.
No, all right, just what is it? Quick.
Right. It was It was forced to shrug him off, and you couldn't find out why. And you're like, why wouldn't you want to know?
Yeah.
Come on.
Real quick.
But this time Luther catches us before we make it back to him and Alice. And he tells us that Alice is an android. And while we're there, we see an android kid who looks just like Alice.
Just wild, dude.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Nuts.
Did not expect that.
Yeah, this was a great twist. The whole time I thought we were taking a human child with us. Instead, there's an android child, which sets a whole other host of things.
Yeah, like what the fuck was Todd doing with this android kid?
Yeah, it almost feels like him and his wife must have not been able to have kids, so they got an android kid, and then she left anyway, and so he freaked out. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very weird. The idea of adopting an android kid is very bizarre.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to grow up. Just a kid.
Yeah, and I guess that you do have to take care of it, but sort of,
Yeah, it's still an android.
It's not the same as taking care of a human kid.
Yeah.
So,
very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bizarre thing, but this twist was very good. We were both shocked.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. So, find out Alice is an android, but Alice doesn't seem to know. But now we know. So, talking with Luther, he's like, you got to know this. And I'm like, okay. And we're like, okay, we won't tell her, but like... And also we have an option to treat her differently when we go see her.
Yeah.
Which of course we didn't do because we're not monsters.
Yeah, seriously. Why would you? Yeah.
I feel like whoever would disregard her, that's so mean. I don't think I could even watch that.
Unless you hate androids this entire game, and you're like, ew, yeah, I don't like you now.
Right, but I can't picture. I don't think I could watch that. Like that, even watch that scene. Like,
it'd be really
seeing
hard.
her just reject Alice. It's so mean.
Yeah, we did not do that.
We did not do that. We fully embraced her and treated her the same way as we did the whole time when we're like, we want to protect you. You're our number one. Like, we'll die if you gotta make it. That's been our whole attitude the whole way through. Stayed the same. After this, Connor has made his way to Jericho and he confronts Markus. And this confrontation is pretty crazy. So we're trying to, as Connor, we're trying to like say, Markus, we're going to arrest you, and like, android's going deviant's bad. And then he's kind of spewing freedom talk to us.
Well, you kind of
You
play both. Yeah, you like go back and forth. You're like, it's super crazy.
Yeah, it's a weird experience. Like you're playing both sides of the conversation.
Uh-huh.
So with Connor, you're trying to explain kind of like your arrest. You've done like these things that are bad about androids, but then Markus is giving his freedom speeches and talks about that and is like, you know, you're not even free, man. Like that kind of stuff. And you kind of have this crisis. And we chose to go deviant at this point.
Fuck yeah, we did.
Join the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
We were like,
it just made 100% sense to do that at this point.
Yeah, it made sense. I think just with everything that's happened for Connor with Hank, and kind of some of the deviant tendencies or pieces we've seen before that.
Yeah,
I think too. The stuff Markus is saying about freedom and equality is very good.
Yep.
Both in game wise, but also writing wise. I thought the writing was pretty good. But it very much captures like civil rights for the United States in the '60s and stuff like that.
Yep.
It captures it very, very well. It's spot on. And it transfers surprisingly well to androids in 2036.
Yeah.
Like for the game, I thought they did it pretty well. And so we were like, yeah, you're right. So we go deviant. We join Team Markus. However, unfortunately, Jericho begins to be getting raided by soldiers. So the army just rolls up and starts fucking shit up.
Yeah, murdering everyone.
Yeah.
On site.
Yeah, and they're not really trying to capture androids. They're just killing them, which is pretty crazy. As it's getting raided, we're with Markus and we're trying to escape. We meet up with North and like Simon and Josh and those guys, and we're trying to escape. And Markus says, no, I need to set off this bomb that will sink the boat so some of the androids can escape at least.
Yeah.
Being the thought. So Markus makes his way, he sets off the bomb, and then after that we meet back up with the group and we're running away. We like jump across this platform with like a hole in the middle kind of thing, and we jump and North falls. Like she doesn't quite make the jump. Like she's kind of hanging on the ledge, I think, or like
something like that.
Or like maybe
she gets
just
shot.
in front
Maybe
of it.
I don't remember.
Oh, maybe she's shot while she's jumping, and so she's laying down in front of it with like a shot in the leg or something. And so, as Markus, you have a choice to go back for her or not, and we do.
Yep.
Because she's been our girl. We've held hands some before this, I think.
Yeah, the weird hand holding thing.
Yeah, they have a weird hand holding that's very intimate.
Yeah. I assume android sex.
Yeah,
but
it seems like
who
it.
knows?
So we go back for her because she's our person.
Yep.
And we save her, but we start getting shot at, and so then Connor comes after us and starts fighting the police so we can escape. And sadly, we failed the quick time events here, and Connor died.
Which I was super salty about. This is another time like I wanted to go back and like get one more chance because like we didn't choose wrong. I think I was playing. I just fucked up the quick time events. So it's like, all right, let's give Dan a shot to not fuck it up, and then at that point, we lose.
But it was too late.
It was too late. Yeah.
So we couldn't go back.
Yeah. Fuck. So Connor's dead.
So Connor's dead.
Sad.
We were super sad.
Yeah, I was pissed
by this, and then we pick up. But Markus, North, and the other androids, they jump off the ship and escape.
Yep.
And Connor's dead. Then we pick up with Kara and Alice down on the ground. So they've made their way through the ship, and it's pretty crazy. You're like navigating the room, and like soldiers are going by and shit like that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
While you're running away, you get separated from Luther because he like kills a soldier so you can escape, kind of thing.
I think it's shot too.
Yeah, he might have got shot in the. Yeah, he got shot in the shoulder because he told us to leave him.
Yeah, but he's okay.
He's okay,
mainly.
But he was like, I'll slow you down, let me fight, and we'll meet up.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And so we say, okay, fine. So because his whole, Luther's like mantra through, after we've met him, is you have to keep Alice safe. Like that's his whole thing. More than anything, is like Alice being safe is the most important. You have to make her safe, and I'll do what I can to make both of you safe. That's like his whole deal.
Yep.
Most loyal android in the history of androids.
Ever.
He's the best.
Yep.
He is the best. So we escape out of the boat, and we're on the ground, and as we're like running out, soldiers run behind us, and start shooting at us and other androids that are running away, which is pretty nuts.
So we get hit like a couple times.
I think we get hit like in the side or on the leg. Like
Yeah.
we're getting hit a little bit and fall down.
Yeah, we're not dying, but
We're not killed. They're not kill shots for us, but they're definitely killing androids around us.
oh yeah.
And then I think there's just one soldier that's left out there, and he's getting ready to execute us. But Luther comes and like kills him, but gets killed himself in the process.
Yeah, gets shot with a shotgun.
Yeah, Luther's dead. Us and Alice are sad.
Yeah.
But then we move on because we have to keep moving to
Because
escape.
there's a lot more soldiers.
There's a lot of soldiers, and we escape. We end up having some scary stuff as we are escaping because there's soldiers that are like patrolling around, and we have to like sneak by.
Oh no, that's later.
Oh, that's later. Okay, yeah, you're right.
But I think it ends here.
Yeah, this ends for Kara and Alice. Then we pick up with Markus and the other androids from Jericho. They've regrouped, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Like, what's our next move now that Jericho hasn't worked out and all that stuff. Now to kind of the climax of the game. So Markus and company are leading another freedom march to demand equal rights. They get all their androids together. North mentions that there is an android who had stolen like a delivery truck who has a bomb somewhere in Detroit, and she gives us the controller. She offers it to us, and we decide to take it.
Yeah.
Because we thought she might get a little trigger happy.
Yeah, I'd rather make that decision.
Yeah, I don't want to make that. I don't want to leave that to chance. So we take it, and we lead this freedom march to demand equal rights again. And as we're marching, we again are met with like a police barricade, and so we make our own kind of barricade essentially, where we make like a fort around us almost.
Yeah, out of like a bus, cars, trash cans,
right,
etc.
Yeah, just basically so they can't just shoot right now and get us all immediately.
Yeah,
it's kind of the
they have to
move.
They have to actually break in here.
Right. So we do that. We're demanding freedom. The FBI agent Perkins offers us a deal with Markus. He says if we surrender ourselves and the rest of the androids, we'll be free.
Yeah, they can just walk away.
We can just walk away. You'll be fine.
Liar.
Or if you surrender, you and North can leave, or that kind of thing. Also, in our protest march here, we go and protest in front of one of these concentration camps for androids that get set up. So before the raid on Jericho, the U.S. government issues a quarantine for all androids. So all androids, regardless if they're deviant or not, are all getting taken to these concentration camp things for disposal. It's crazy.
Yep, it's like a World War II concentration camp where they're getting just destroyed.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Yeah, it's bad. Yep. So we refused this offer though from Perkins. We're like,
It
no,
seemed too shady.
Yeah, fuck this guy in the first place. But also we can't be demanding freedom for androids forever. And then we're like, all right, I got mine. Fuck you guys. Our whole attitude with Markus the whole time was the cause. I felt like is so. Right. For Markus, I feel like our attitude was the cause. Freedom for androids is the most important. With Kara, it was Alice's most important. And then with Connor, the mission was the most important, but then it shifted to Hank was. Yeah. But, we kind of had themes we ran with for each character most of the time.
Yeah. Tried to.
Yeah. And so with Markus, we'd played peaceful protest the whole way. And we're staying with that. And, the cause is the thing. Also, there's a lot of news reporters around watching our protest with cameras and mics. Everyone's watching this. This is a world news kind of thing. Every station, everyone's like, what are the androids in Detroit going to do next kind of thing. So that's pretty wild. Ultimately, the soldiers begin an assault on the androids. And we try to make it. We fight a couple and try to save some androids, but ultimately we get cornered. There's too many soldiers and they have weapons and we don't. And we're not trying to kill them. We're mostly disabling them.
Ruining their guns.
Yeah, whereas they're knocking them out, but they're killing us.
Oh yeah,
shooting at us, just killing us.
100%.
So we end up getting cornered. We're propped up against a bus with maybe like the last 12 androids or something like that. Us and North, and I think like Simon and Josh, and
some randos.
Yeah, some randos. And so we've got our kind of next option we can do. We could like raise our fist and like protest. We could sing.
We could kiss
North, and then something else.
Yeah.
We decided to kiss North. We were like, fuck it, if we're going out this way.
Yeah, going out like that.
We're going out like this. And the president watching TV and everyone watching TV, we see that public opinion for androids is getting favorable.
Yeah.
At this point, the president calls and tells them not to kill us, to call off killing the androids. And it's like, fuck.
Yeah, it's like we won.
We made
kind
it.
of.
We made it, which was wild. I watched a version of this where they sing, and you sing and you finish the song and then they fucking shot you.
Oh man.
They also don't shoot you. You can have them not shoot you, but
Really?
I watched one where they shoot you.
How does that work when they don't shoot you?
I'm guessing it's the public opinion how it still is. So maybe with ours being as favorable as it was going, maybe singing would have still been okay.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if yours isn't good and you sing, you like finish the song and then
just kill you.
Yeah, you just fucking gone.
That's crazy.
It was wild. Wild one to watch. It was, fuck, man.
That's insane.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. Yeah, that wraps that for. Now we've got New Connor on a rooftop, which I guess actually happened before this. This should have been earlier, but whatever. Fine. New Connor's on the rooftop. He's got a sniper rifle and he's gonna kill Markus. That's like his mission.
This is like before Markus ever interacts with Perkins to get like, the deal. Yeah.
So it's once they've made their barricades, but before anything else has happened. Yeah. And Connor's got his sniper rifle. He's getting ready to kill Markus. Hank confronts us though and is like, "What are you doing, man? Like, you're different." And since we're New Connor, we don't have any of the deviants in us from before, and we're not about it. We like, no, our mission is to kill Markus. It's all the deviant thing. So we fight Hank, but for us, since we did not believe in this Connor, we just let Hank kill us.
Yep.
So we failed all the quick times on purpose, and Hank threw us off the roof.
Yep.
And we were like, yeah, fuck that. Like, this isn't our Connor anymore. Our Connor's dead already, really. And we're definitely not hurting Hank.
Yep, no. Hank's the dude.
So we just failed them on purpose. Which I guess if we were trying to play true, we should have fought him, but
no way.
I like what we made. Choice.
Yep.
Even though this Connor is different than our Connor, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Whatever. Then with Kara and Alice, after they've left Jericho, they see androids getting captured and taken to camps. We see the Jerrys getting captured.
Well, they just get shot. I think they just shoot them in the street. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they capture them first.
Oh,
and we have an option to help them or not. And Alice is like, we should help them. And
hell
we're
no.
like, no, we can't. And then we just see him get shot, and Alice is sad, and we're sad. We're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I know that we couldn't have helped him. Like, we would have just got killed too.
Probably.
But, it felt bad. Like, you just are like, all right, you guys were pretty cool, but sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Gotta protect Alice.
Yeah. Staying to our mission, protecting Alice. After this, we make it to a bus stop, and they're like checking deviants at the door kind of thing. And so we're like trying to figure out what to do. But then we see off to the side, there's a parking lot, and we go there, and Rose is there.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah, which thank God. Because if you go to the bus route, there's variations where you get caught and don't get caught.
Oh, really?
And so you just get executed at the bus stop some of the times.
That's super crazy.
I saw one where Kara gets executed, but then Luther and Alice make it through.
Oh, that's insane.
Yeah, so it's like it can get kind of intense.
Oh man.
So we ended up with the right one, I think. But,
easier route.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah. I like my odds here better.
Yep.
For sure. So we make it with Rose. She gets us to the boats that are crossing over, and she's like, "Just go. Don't use your motor right now because that'll attract the Coast Guard. If you make it across, you're free. So try to row your way about halfway and that sort of deal." So us and Alice are in our boat, and we're about halfway through. We're getting ready to start our motor, or maybe it just started it. and the Coast Guard rolls up
Yeah.
and starts spraying the boats near us and at us. We like jump off our boat and under the water. The androids and the other boats got killed, and they just kind of assumed we were dead too.
Yeah.
And so the Coast Guard goes by. We're okay. We get back into the boat, and we see that our motor doesn't work. It was shot.
There's a hole in the boat.
And there's a hole in the boat, so water's coming in, so we have to lighten the load. Oh, this is crazy. If Luther's on the boat with you and he gets shot, you have to push him off the boat. Because
Is he dead yet?
I don't remember.
Oh, man. I hope he would be. Otherwise...
Either one, it felt really bad. I was watching it, and I was like, he's our friend, but it's like,
Yeah.
he's waiting. We have to get rid of... Oh, man.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. But, so we got rid of, like, supplies. We broke the motor off. We broke... we, like, threw, like, a box of shit.
Yeah.
Food or something.
Yeah.
Off. We throw that off. Then Kara ends up getting in the water and basically pushes the boat the rest of the way. After we end up throwing the paddle away for the weight too.
Yeah.
At one point, so then Kara just gets and like swims and pushes it.
Yeah.
We make it to Canada, and we get there, and like you get the tension because our body's shutting down because the water is so cold. But we make it there just before we shut down. We get there. Alice is looking questionable for a second.
Yeah, we thought she was dead for like a hot second.
For a second.
Yep.
But us and Alice make it away. Freedom in Canada.
Yep.
Yes.
Both of us survived.
Both of us survived. So, I guess a quick recap of our ending. Our Connor died on the boat for real.
Yeah.
And then we just let Hank kill the replacement Connor.
Yeah, stupid replacement Connor.
Markus and team's protest worked. The people decided not to kill the androids, and the president was like, we're going to think about what classification androids should have. Like, I'm going to meet with the Senate, and we're going to get something rolling. So, like, pretty positive there, and Alice and Kara are free.
It's mostly good.
Yeah, so I would say mostly good. I feel like pretty decent.
Yeah.
So we asked online what other people's endings were, so we've got a chunk of those. So Alyssa on Twitter said, Kara, Alice, and Luther made it to Canada. Connor and Hank became friends. Markus and North were a couple, and the revolution ended relatively peacefully.
That's like the best case ending.
Yeah, so
probably.
I think Alyssa got the best ending. So
Yeah,
good job
for you. Yeah.
good job. You played it all right.
Yeah. Daniel on Twitter says, on my first try, I lost Connor because I couldn't find the right room because I'm blind, so no more Hank. I wonder what he's referring to there.
I think in the Eden Club, maybe. Because we were trying to find the right room where Tracy was.
Sure.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah. Lost Kara and Luther on the boat. Alice survived. So did the Tracys. Oh. Markus and North survived after Warren called everyone off. Oh, so I wonder if you don't kill the Tracys.
I think they end up at Jericho.
That makes sense.
And then...
Oh, because they were going to go there.
Right. And I guess maybe they end up in our boat, which that's pretty crazy.
Oh, wow. That's really wild.
If that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Which is...
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Chris on Twitter said, first playthrough, Luther died protecting Kara and Alice in the house. So, like where we'd restarted. While Kara died on the boat ride. Connor and Hank are friends. Markus nuked Detroit, and the revolution did not end well. Last dumb decision I'll ever make.
That's crazy. So that's the bomb.
That was the bomb. I didn't look those up. I want to look them up, but I think I'm glad we didn't go like bomb revolutionary style and like kill all humans.
Yeah, sir. I mean, well, yeah, it ended really badly.
Right.
Callum on Twitter says Kara and Alice made it to Canada. Luther sadly did not. Connor led the revolution, and Markus and North were killed when I agreed to the cops' deal. So yeah, that.
Oh, that's a unique one. That's pretty cool.
It's different.
Kyle on Twitter said Kara managed to get to Canada and start a new life, and Connor joined the revolution for me.
Mason on Twitter says Connor killed Markus because I couldn't find the damn thing. I replayed and kept him alive though. Definitely ruined my first playthrough.
So is that when we going deviant? Did we have like a quick time thing we had to do to go deviant as Connor?
I don't remember. Maybe? No, I don't think so. I can't remember.
Huh. Oh, or maybe when shooting him. Maybe that's when it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Could be very possible.
Huh.
There's so many different possibilities here. It's just like...
No, yeah.
There's so many times this could have probably happened.
When I was trying to just look up endings on YouTube, like I tried to look up like all Kara endings, and it was 4 hours, and I was like, okay, I can't watch 4 hours.
Don't have time for this.
I was like, if it's a half hour, I could watch them all probably.
Yeah.
But like, I was like, man, 4 hours, and just for one character, I was like, all right, this is way more in depth than I would have ever even guessed.
Seriously.
Which is a great testament to these guys making a good game. But,
replayability is pretty high.
Right. Render on Twitter, though, said Kara and Alice were captured and thrown into some kind of robot concentration camp where they had to strip naked, i.e. to skin themselves. Then they lost each other, and in their struggle to find each other, they were shot and killed and left to rot on a garbage heap. I'm still sad about it.
Oh, that sounds literally the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah, that sounds like the worst ending. I'm thinking that this is if you help the Jerrys, you get captured here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Or
get seen at all when you're trying to
escape.
Yeah.
So that sounds horrible.
Jeez.
I cannot imagine.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get that. Yeah.
I would still be sad.
Yeah, probably. I'd probably never think about this game again or try to.
Right, just skip the Kara storyline.
There
was one that was really sad. I don't think about it.
Yeah, done with that.
Connor and Markus were cool.
Yeah, they were cool. They're alright. Craig on Twitter says, I kinda knew how to save Kara and Alice because I saw a YouTuber do it before I got the game. But I got Connor killed because I got Hank's son's name wrong and Markus won the revolution. So that's when... if you don't die as Connor,
right on the boat.
Yeah, and then Hank finds you and the new Connor fighting. He has to choose which one is the fake one, right? Or the not real Connor.
Right. So you guys get in a fight, and then Hank has the gun, and he has to figure out which one's the real Connor. And so you're trying to convince him you're the real Connor.
Man, I wonder how that would end if he shot the wrong one.
Yeah, I don't know what would happen from there. Like if fake Connor would kill Hank then, or if like
maybe
you just don't know. Like he just fake Connor just then.
Well, he couldn't kill Hank.
I guess that wouldn't fit his protocol, probably.
Yeah, he would just kind of go on.
Yeah, being that, but oh man,
wild.
Yeah, it was cool. Watching the scene, a thing I really liked is so Brian Descartes does both voices for both Connors. He's like, no, I'm the real Connor. And stuff. He's like, no, Hank, I really know you. And, that kind of thing. So
that'd be so crazy.
Yeah, it was cool to watch. Like I liked that a lot. So that's people's endings. So now I guess heading for some general thoughts for us. First one for me is I really love the branching system in the story. Experientially wise, like we talked about, hours upon hours of different endings, and that your characters could die so quick. I wonder what. Or so many times. I wonder... So Connor always comes back. He just keeps getting replacements.
Yep.
I wonder how short the game is if Kara and Markus get killed at their first time being able to be killed. Because I'm guessing maybe Markus can't get killed until the boat.
No. I don't know. I wonder if you can get killed, like...
Because he has to start part of the revolution. At least.
True.
I read that. I guess if you get killed. Oh no, the Freedom March. You could stay and.
Yeah, get shot.
Because I guess if you die there, North becomes leader.
Okay. That makes sense.
But so there's a lot of you could theoretically have the game get way shorter if you really suck at quick times.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Just choose really poorly.
Yeah, or choose poorly, whatever. Like. Which is cool, but I like that this game offered that much because this is probably the most branching story game I played. Until Dawn has some branching story, but this one's way more.
Yeah.
But then also like the charts itself reflecting the branching story are amazing. They look fantastic. Like, like if you like Telltale games and you like seeing stats, then holy shit.
You might get overwhelmed.
This game, would make your brain explode.
Yeah.
Like it's so great. I didn't look one up, but I want to find a full completed chart of all of them.
It'd probably be like as big as your wall.
No, yeah, I'd just love to see that because you could, because there's just so many ways each scene can go. Like even at the end, most of them had several endings of how this scene could go, and then even side things along the way. Like pretty cool.
Yeah, insane. Yeah, it was really well done, and I thought the story was incredible. Let alone, even if just one of these three characters was like their story was like a whole game, it'd be sweet. But then you had three, and how they intersected was like really, really good. Like this is probably the Outside of Life is Strange 1, like the first one, this might be the best story I've played.
Yeah.
Probably. And maybe I might be forgetting something, here some game here or there, but like this was really good.
Yeah. They really, really did well with this. You're right. I feel like if it was just one and they beefed up one story, it'd still probably be really
fun
good.
Game. Yeah.
Really good. And let alone that we got 3 good stories. Like,
yeah.
They really nailed it.
Yeah, and there's so many points where they could have messed this up with like the crossing stories. They could have made one choice be like, oh, this choice is just, you have to make this one. It just makes more sense. But I feel like there was never a point where it was like, depending on how you played, maybe you would kill Markus as Connor. Right. Or you would, I don't know. There's so many options. You did it really well.
Yeah.
I felt balanced.
A thing that I kind of wish, retrospectively, which we don't have a third person we play with, but as if we played and each one of us owned one character, and that was all we did.
Yep.
And so, if the Connor who was playing was like, no, I'm like a deviant hunter, that's what I do.
Yeah. Like, fuck you, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd just be mad at that third person or, whatever. Like, that'd be pretty cool. Because instead we just traded stories, so we played as all the characters each. Just traded every other, more or less, so...
That would have been pretty fun, actually.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been a fun way to play this game.
Yeah.
Is each person owns a character.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Or even you like draw out of a hat.
Yeah.
Like Deviant Hunter, but like.
Playstyle and character.
Yeah, like Deviant, cool. But you also hate Hank somehow like that. But the other people don't know what your playstyle is. They have to figure it out. That'd be kind of crazy.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
That'd be really wild.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That could increase replayability for a game like this too. Is like that's better than just looking up things on YouTube. Is like oh, we're gonna play this way, but like here's my goal. Yeah, it's my secret goal, and here's your secret goal. And,
that'd be pretty fun.
So when you're at the Markus Connor scene, if you get there or something like that's like, okay, are you gonna kill me? Like
yeah, how do you do that if there's you have to pass the controller back and forth?
Yeah, I guess.
Like fuck you, I'm killing you right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, cool. I guess related to that too. I like the intersection of the stories. I thought they did that well. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel like your choice is this, but really it's going to be this no matter what, or something like that. I thought that was good.
One tension I felt a lot was like the Android revolution. So I didn't want to kill people because I didn't want the public opinion to be worse. But I also kind of wanted to kill lots of like cops and stuff. Not because I'm evil or something like that, but like everyone hated androids and was really fucking mean to them. So part of me was like, let's just kill them all.
Right.
But I knew it wouldn't have ended well. But at the same time, I felt this tension of like, you're not going to be nice to us. We should probably actually fight back.
Right.
I don't know if you felt that too playing through it, but it was
I felt
tempting.
Like when we killed that guy at the radio station or the TV station.
Yeah.
I think that's where we like came to our conclusion or realized like we got to be peaceful.
Yeah, if we killed anyone else, the public would have been like, no,
right.
Kill them all.
And we didn't like killing a guy or like running away. Like I didn't feel good about that at all. Like we killed him and then we're like, oh, we should.
Just shot him in the back.
Like we felt it like immediately.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was our time where we could have been like, nah, full revolutionary or not, and like peaceful protest or revolution. And we were like, peaceful protest. Yeah. And that I felt like that became our like mentality at that point, even though we still wanted to like fight back. But like I kind of felt like it was like, well, if we get gunned down and other androids are free later, it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
But like that's how it felt. But I could totally see it going the other way, where it's like kill all humans.
Yeah, which I've felt sometimes.
Right, and then North would be like all about that.
Yeah, like, you're right. Let's kill the humans and hold hands.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Hold hands the whole time.
Yeah. Feels great.
One minor fear I had going into this game was that it would be like too much like Westworld, the show, and it could make these androids feel like lame almost in comparison. I know that Westworld's not the only thing they ever do androids, but they did it big.
They did.
And I mean, for me, I guess I've only watched season 1 and some of season 2.
Same, yeah.
Actually, yesterday, though, at Comic-Con, they dropped the trailer for Season 3, and it's going to be in, like, 1940s Germany.
Oh.
Like World War II style.
What?
Yeah. So I saw them, like, walking, and I saw, like, swastika flag and like German officers and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's a World War II world or something.
That's crazy.
I'm not sure. And Aaron Paul Jesse from Breaking Bad's in it now.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. So
I'll have to maybe pick back up.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, I need to finish season 2 because I want to watch season 3 now after like seeing that trailer.
That's freaking sweet.
I've thought season 2 was okay, but season 1 of Westworld was
so good.
Was very, very good.
Yes.
Yeah. But, my point, I was afraid that Westworld would seem way cooler than Detroit on surface. It wasn't a problem at all. I didn't even think about Westworld.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Which I was glad about. I was a little worried I'd be like, oh, well, that was cooler in Westworld or this. But I didn't feel that way at all.
Yep.
They felt different enough, and I recommend Detroit and Westworld. They're both good.
Both amazing. Yeah, so I was trying to think about, so we did favorite characters. What was your favorite storyline? Or maybe even, part of the game. So, mission or, I don't know what you'd call it.
Yeah.
Section.
I think maybe, Kara's Jericho Onward section.
Cool.
So, finding out Alice is an android.
Yeah.
That was nuts. At the end, that fear, I was really expecting we were going to make it across the river, and then Alice just has a hole in her chest, and then we're just really sad in Canada and alone. We're free, but we're, the most alone ever.
Yep.
I was really expecting that to happen.
I mean, I thought it was going to happen. I mean, it kind of... They teased it.
It was,
in our game, they teased it.
Yeah, it was teased briefly, and I thought that was happening, and I was like, holy fuck, they, went there.
Yeah, they fucked us.
And I guess even with that, for getting... I know this is a little bigger, but for mostly getting a happy ending, I really like that. It felt earned. You know, sometimes happy endings feel sort of cheap. And
yeah, it's the only way it'll end.
Yeah, or that kind of thing. And I even kind of like sad endings based on all the games we play.
It's real life. Yeah. Real life sad and sucks.
kind of thing. But I was really about this. So I think that little section of Kara and Alice's storyline was my favorite.
Yeah.
What about you?
Man, I don't know. I liked so many interactions with Connor and Hank.
Those were really great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of... Honestly, probably anytime Connor was interacting with Hank, I was pretty into. I don't know what it was about it. I just liked... Especially towards the end when we had, become Hank's friend. I liked that a lot.
I liked those too when we were especially in those moments, between investigations and stuff.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of trying to talk to him, and, at the beginning, he's kind of just talking shit, but then he's, kind of warming up as it goes, and that sort of deal.
Yeah, it was character progression that made sense, which was cool. It wasn't out of nowhere, oh, Hank's really friendly now. He was always kind of rough, and even when he liked us. Yes, so even when he actually liked us, he was still kind of mean and rough, but it was just because that's how he was, but it never felt, out of left field, oh, Hank's just super friendly and warm now. But he was definitely friends with us by the end, which was cool.
Right, yeah. He was still Hank. But it was clear through the game that he started seeing androids differently by being with us and investigating them and stuff like that.
Which was cool.
Yeah, that was definitely cool. So last we've got just some general listener feedback from people about their thoughts on the game. So Christopher on Twitter wrote in. He said it was incredible. I love how all the stories eventually intertwine. Oh yeah,
that's one of the best parts of it.
Yeah.
Chris on Twitter says best game from Quantic Dream since Beyond Two Souls. We might have to play that one at some point.
Yeah, I feel like next time we play a PlayStation exclusive again like this.
Yeah, I've heard that game's good.
Yeah. It looks good. They both sound really good, and I think they're both really similar in the branching story thing. So
yeah,
doing this kind of thing. So
hell yeah,
it sounds like something we'd like. Solarpunk on Twitter wrote, a few nitpicks aside, it was a great experience. Yeah, I feel the same way. There aren't really big things that stand out as problems. There's some here and there, but nothing.
Yeah, it's hard to. I had to really sit down and think about the issues I had with it.
Yeah, nothing that really sours me on it at all.
Yeah. Anders on Twitter says, extremely engaging and moving experience, at times political and very relevant in today's society. A solid 9 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Yeah, sums it up. I totally agree. Chai Tai on Twitter said, good story, but controls were finicky as hell in the QTE. Yeah, some of the quick times were kind of fucked up.
Yeah, we got killed. Well, I got Connor killed because I ruined one of the quick times. There were some times, I felt like I didn't miss the button press, but it said I missed the button press.
Yeah.
So, debatable. Calico on Twitter said, I really enjoyed it, aside from the quick time sequences. As with all Quantic Dream games, the visuals and characters were awesome. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate the quick time sequences, but some of them was like, I feel like I did that correctly, but...
Yeah, I was a little more worried about them coming in than when we actually played. When I played, it felt mostly fine.
Yeah.
Experientially. But I kind of wonder almost if they, like, made a patch that made it better, since, we've played it a year after release or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was more shitty at the beginning or something. Like
yeah, which would suck, because if you
like got
your
it
character just died and like,
yeah,
it's like, well, I guess I have to start over.
Right.
That would suck.
Yeah, that would suck. Margiel on Twitter said, Detroit Become Human is an interesting cinematic adventure. The highlight of the game are the scenes with Kara. In my opinion, they are touching and thrilling. Connor's inner struggles are presented well. Nonetheless, I prefer Heavy Rain, even though it has tank controls.
I have to play that one too at some point.
Yeah.
Nikki on Twitter says, definitely a favorite game of mine. I love the branching and crossing paths. The characters are awesome and the story's interesting. Sure, it has flaws like all games do, but I still love it. People should be more critical about things they love anyways.
Yep, fair point. I think if you can't see things that are shortcomings in games you like, that's probably not good.
Yeah, no game's perfect.
I don't think I've met a perfect game.
Met one.
Yeah, met one.
Never met a perfect
experience.
Yeah.
Maybe The Last of Us or something.
That's
like,
pretty close.
That seems like that would be one that could be closest.
Yeah.
But then even that, it would depend on what kind of gamer you are.
Yeah.
Because obviously I see people who say that game sucks, which
Yeah.
they're wrong. But
objectively.
But you can not like it, I guess. So, I don't know.
You can be wrong, that's fine.
Craig on Twitter said, beautiful game. Actually made me cry watching Kara and Alice die on the first playthrough.
Yeah, I might have cried there too if that would have happened.
Yeah, I think if they would have died or one would have survived on our thing.
Yeah, it would have been super sad.
Yeah, been real sad probably. Or the concentration camp.
That ending sounded like the worst possible
earlier.
ending, yeah.
That would
Hell no.
Yeah, if we just saw them get shot while they're just skins.
Yeah, I would have stopped playing.
Yeah, that would sucked.
Debs on Twitter says, I loved it and love sharing my story with others and hearing how theirs turned out too.
Yeah. And then Teo on Twitter said, I'm currently playing it and loving it so far. So I hope you enjoyed the rest of the game before you hear this comment.
Yeah, don't listen to this.
Yeah, I hope you didn't listen. But I hope you listened now once you finished the game and kept loving it. So that's Detroit Become Human. If you've got other stuff you want to hit us up on, find us on Twitter at StoryEverPod. You can email us at TheGreatestStoryEverPlayed@gmail.com. If you could rate and review us on iTunes or wherever you get your podcast, that would really help out. Just getting the show in front of more people and people who enjoy the same video games as us and getting to share in that together, that would be cool. And we will see you next time.
Later.